So in the last lesson, we just wrapped up talking about breeding. And obviously we were talking about the hens and how important it is to know their different cycles, but we figured it'd be important too to continue on focusing on hen behavior. So we're going to talk about nesting and dominance and how they protect and like what exactly those hens go through.
Yeah, when it comes to dominance, I mean, it's kind of similar to the toms, although since we're not typically hunting hens, we don't pay as much attention to it. The biggest factor that we pay attention to is what we would call the boss hen when it comes to dominance in the pecking order. All the rest of them, what level they're at doesn't really matter because the only time that it ever comes into play is certain times you can actually call in turkeys and the tom that's with them by being able to call the boss hen. That's the hen that's, she's established that she's the leader, she's in charge. And if you can call enough, you can actually get her worked up and get her barking back at you and get her to actually come in and bring the whole flock, including that tom with her.
She will.
So there is a dominance factor that happens. But also, one of the big things is when it comes to reproduction, their nesting, that changes a lot about how that hen behaves and what they do.
It's important to keep this in mind when we're talking about hens and when they're going to nest, because that can alter or change your strategy, which we're going to talk about in a later module.
The way that the nesting process basically works is, as it's getting closer, she knows that it's time for her to start working that nest. She's going to start looking for a safe place to build a nest. A lot of times this will be close to water, close to food, so she doesn't have to go very far, and will offer a lot of good eyesight advantages for her to be able to sense danger coming and to be able to take off. A lot of times they'll be, around edges of fields or around creek lines a lot of times. But what she's going to do, she's going to pick that location, and then as the breeding process actually starts and he starts to breed her, she's not going to immediately take off and go lay eggs and sit on a nest. It's going to take a period of time. She won't actually sit on that nest until she's got 10 to 12 eggs in there. And usually she's only laying, 1 egg per day.
Yeah.
So she may be in that henned up yet breeding stage for almost 2 weeks before that clutch of eggs is actually ready to be set on. At that point, once she's got that clutch fully set, then she's going to go ahead and get secretive, take off. She's going to start sitting on that nest, only coming out a few times a day to get food and water. And the incubation period is just about 4 weeks. So she'll sit on that nest for the next 4 weeks, which means she's completely out of that game for the tom as far as breeding. And then once they do get on that nest, they can be pretty protective, huh?
Oh yeah, so protective, man. Just like any mother is, right? Just like all species of animals, the mother during that time, she should be protective. And so we're going to show you a really cool video clip that is pretty rare footage. And it's pretty awesome to show how a hen is protecting little ones.